But what about Bob Levinson? He is the longest held hostage in U.S. history. Levinson, a former FBI agent and working for the CIA as a contractor, vanished in Iran in March of 2007. It's more than 9 years ago. And in January of this year, the White House said it's not sure where Levinson is.
We have reason to believe that he no longer is in Iran. And that's why we continue to press for information about his whereabouts. And we're going to continue to do that, and we've secured a commitment from the Iranians to use the channel that has now been opened to secure the release of those individuals that we know were being held by Iran unjustly, to use those same channels to try to gather information about Mr. Levinson's possible whereabouts.
Bob Levinson's son, Dan, goes on the record. Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, Rita.
Dan, your family has written another letter to Iran today. What are you seeking?
We're trying to get my dad home. It's been almost 9.5 years, and we've been on this show many times now, and we're trying to make sure that the Obama administration and the Iranian government are going to be working together to make sure he's brought home, because we do believe that the Iranian government arrested him and that they have been holding him and they're responsible for him. So they have the responsibility to bring him home to us.
Do you believe the Obama administration either A, knows what happened to your father or where he is, or B, is just not putting the right pressure on to get it done?
I think until my dad is brought home, it's never going to be enough. They're in communication with us, but we're pressing them to make sure that they bring the Iranians to the table and they work with them to make sure they're doing. As part of this nuclear deal, Iran promised to do everything they could to bring my dad home, and so far they haven't. They haven't followed up. I went over there. They didn't have any answers. They didn't even follow up on my letter I brought to them there, and it's not enough. And the Obama administration needs to put more pressure on them. They need to be talking to them constantly and making sure that this is resolved. There's only a month in President Obama's term, and we're hoping that he resolves his case, brings him home before that term ends.
How tough has it been on the family? I know I've spoken to your mother and other members of your family. We've done this so many times, and it's just an effort to try to keep the heat up to get you answers. But so the American people can sort of get an idea of how rough this is. Tell me.
Every day is a struggle, and every day we're trying to figure out how to get him home, and it just gets more difficult each day because it's 9.5 years is unbelievable, the longest held hostage in U.S. history, and we're never losing hope, but it's very frustrating with the pace of the progress and the lack of progress, and just constantly thinking of new ways that we can press the administration to bring him home.
And you have absolutely no idea whether he is dead or alive, right?
No, we believe he's alive. The FBI believes he's alive. They're tracking at every lead, and they said there's no reason to believe he's not alive. And I think the administration believes he's alive. So everybody we've talked to believes he's alive, and he was alive a few years ago, and when people thought he was dead. So there's no reason to believe that he's dead now.
Why was he not part of the swap in January, do you think?
I think the fact that the Iranians have not even admitted to having him, even though it's very clear to anybody who knows the basic facts, he was arrested, he was on a tiny island with heavy security. Of course the Iranians arrested him, and of course they know where he is, but they're not saying that, and that has been a roadblock for everything. And we need the administration to press them harder on this and not give them any kind of out to suggest that they don't have him.
Dan, thank you.
Thank you for having us once again.